Hello and welcome to the Swamps. Today we're going to be doing a tarot reading on what you don't see about yourself. So let's get started. This is pile 1, this is pile 2, and this is pile 3. All right, guys, let's go. Hello, pile number 1. This is your tarot reading about what you don't see about yourself. The crystal that you chose is this salt rock, actually. This is just a big piece of salt. Right, let's get started. We're going to do your oracles first and then your tarot. All right, so your first oracle is 11 with individuality. Your next oracle is allowing. Radical acceptance says yes to reality in any given moment, so what's needed can come next. Your next oracle card is black tourmaline with protect yourself. And your last oracle card is grounding potato, and the number 5 as well as the zodiac sign of Virgo. All right, so I think I have a pretty good idea of what's going on here. So this is an interesting message because the prompt was what you don't see about yourself, and this is true, but it's not what I expected to get. So basically what you guys don't see is that there is either someone or something, and for a lot of you I think it's someone that is sending you negative energy. They're just sending you all sorts of bad vibes, basically. I don't think that you realize it though, basically. Like this could be somebody that that like you are friends with, and maybe they're like talking behind your back or something. That's kind of the energy that I'm seeing here, and it just sort of looks like, for the people around you and this person, it just sort of looks like you're just allowing this to happen. And you're basically being asked to ground and protect yourself here. I think you're being asked to ground so that you don't like say or do anything, too out there in retaliation to this person when the time does come. Because it's very clear to me that this is like somebody talking behind your back or just putting negative energy directed to you out into the world, basically. They might not even be talking to you. They could be like casting spells or something, depending on who we're talking about here. But it definitely is some kind of negativity spread your way by a person, and for some of you, a situation. You're definitely being asked to protect your energy here, interestingly. So that's why I feel like this has to do with magic for some of you. I feel bad because it's just like, it feels like this is just happening behind your back, and I almost feel like some people might know or have a suspicion, is a better word, of this going on and happening to you, but I don't feel like they feel like it's their place to tell you or their place to stand up for you even, which I feel really bad about that. They could have their reasons though. They could genuinely be afraid of this person as well. For others of you, like, nobody really knows about this. This is completely happening in the dark. And that's sort of an indicator of magic to me when it's very secretive like this, when this energy is super secretive. So I would almost just be careful if you can, do a protection spell for yourself. And I do advocate for protecting yourself while doing protection spells personally. So just putting that out there, make sure you do a lot of research before you do any protection spells. But yes, I feel like there is some kind of negative energy being sent under the radar your way, and you're being asked to protect yourself. That's the big thing that's happening. I'm actually repeating that a lot because I think that's the main message here that whoever is sending this through really wants to get through, is protect yourself from this. So let's look at your first tarot card. We have the 5 of Cups. Yeah, this person is out to take from you. Maybe you're a very positive person. To be honest, with the individuality card coming out, that makes me feel like 2 things. This person is like actually targeting you. And the next thing is they are very jealous of your individuality. That's why they're doing this. For a lot of you, and I want to make this very clear, for a lot of you, I feel like this person is indirectly doing this. They don't really realize that they're doing this. I think it's just for some of you, it might actually be magic. But I get the sense that this is somebody indirectly doing this. For some of you, I feel like this person isn't even aware of the fact that they are jealous of your individuality. This is all happening subconsciously for them, meaning that they might not even fully understand that they don't like you, but they're just putting negative energy towards you, if that makes sense. So your next tarot card is Seven of Wands. Exactly what you're being asked to do here is defend yourself. And I think this is really interesting, the order that these came in, because it looks like this guy is like building a barrier and protecting this guy, sort of, to me. Or it just looks like he's protecting this guy from all these other little wands. So I feel like you're just being asked to protect yourself from all this negative energy that's being sent your way. It could be like, like I said, it could be a type of negative energy that the person doesn't even realize that they're sending your way, or they could be very aware of it, or it could be like a mixture of both. Like, it's not quite to the level of like magic, but like I said earlier, this person's like talking behind your back, or they just have a really negative opinion of you. For some of you, this may be a situation, but I'm just, for the sake of the reading, saying that it's a person, because it's more easier to interpret that way, or to like fluently speak about that way. All right, last tarot card is the Two of Pentacles. So what this tells me is that I think that you're fully capable of protecting yourself in this situation. You're capable of juggling sorry, I heard duty, but it just feels weird to say that because I never actually say that word. But basically, you're being asked to juggle grounding and protecting yourself, which I do view grounding as a form of like social protection a lot of times, which is probably why that's coming through here. This does feel like another person, and it does feel like there's just sending some kind of weird energy out into the world, and it's just negative, and you're sort of just being asked to protect yourself from that. I'm sorry I keep repeating myself, but I feel like that's just sort of important here. Like, you're being asked to protect yourself from this negative energy, whether this person knows that they're doing it, whether they're doing it, unintentionally. It's in your best interest to protect yourself from this. So I'm going to pull some charms now. Interesting. For some of you, this is like, you're an easy target for this person. I think that goes back to your individuality. Because you're an individual, you're an easy target for this person. Maybe they're just like a really nasty person, honestly. So basically, this, to me, like, I heard you wear your heart on your sleeve, which made me feel like maybe you are like an easy target for this person to go after. Maybe this is like, maybe this is just who they are. It's not even personal to you. I feel like they're still threatened by your individuality, but maybe because you're an individual, that makes it like an easy target for them. This one makes me feel like you've been through a lot, and you hold a lot of wisdom, or you're going to gain a lot of wisdom from this situation. And last but not least, this feels like angelic protection for some of you. I feel like you guys are protected by angels. And I think that to be honest, I was drawn to this charm again. I feel like they actually do really admire the fact that you are a very emotionally in touch person. And that's not just why they're protecting you. I feel like this is like some guardian angel energy, but I felt the need to also say that. But the main takeaway from this reading essentially is that you need to protect yourself. You are even being protected from this to a degree, but I feel like there just needs to be more done. I feel like you need to, do a little bit of the protection yourself, basically. I would actually recommend black tourmaline. That's what this is right here. A really big hunk, really big piece. Has been doing me wonders, and I really appreciate it. So I definitely would recommend that for crystals for protection. But when it comes to, spells and stuff, I would definitely do your own research. I'm a big believer in writing your own spells for protection. And that's about it. That's all I'm really getting here. So thank you for watching this reading. I hope you found it helpful. If you wish to support this channel, please subscribe. And once again, thank you. All right, hello there, pile number 2. This is your tarot reading for what you don't see about yourself. You chose this beautiful peach moonstone little pyramid that I got a while back. Super cute, super tiny, love it. Love the little pyramids. It's a fun one to me. All right, so we're gonna get into your oracles first and then your tarot cards, as I usually do. All right, so sorry, that was bugging me. So your first oracle card is effort with the number 13. Your next oracle card is intuition. Each person's road to the inner Lord is extraordinary and personal. How liberating to listen inside and sense moment to moment what's needed. Your next oracle card is flow. Allow me, divine, to move with the flow and respond with calmness and peace. Your next oracle card, is strength with the number 19 and the zodiac sign Virgo, as well as fennel. And your last oracle card is Apopholites. Stay positive. Oh, right. So we got a lot here. You guys got an extra card. I totally forgot. So interesting stuff here. So basically what you don't see about yourself is that you are a very intuitive person. And this actually is interesting because it makes you a very strong person, because your form of intuition, and this is really interesting to me, your form of intuition allows you to go with the flow. Like, you are very intuitive and in sync with the universe. For example, I feel like this is the type of person that, this is a super good example. I just got hit with a wonderful example. So last year around my birthday, it was like the week of my birthday, I was like, you know what? I want to go to Chipotle out of nowhere. I actually never ate at Chipotle before that, okay? So it was like a really weird thing that just hit me out of nowhere. And then when I got to Chipotle, it was a buy one, get one free burrito day. And I just felt like this is going to sound really silly, but I just felt like it was one of those weird, like, kind of moments where it was just in sync, okay? So sort of a silly example, but I feel like that's sort of what this person is. Like, you'll just randomly be like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then it works out even better for you than expected. So that's sort of the energy that I'm getting here with you. For you, and it's interesting that this card comes out, because honestly, I get an opposite feeling. Like, I get like almost like this should be in reverse, in the sense that I feel like it's effortless. This is effortless for you. You are just naturally in tune with the universe. And this makes you super strong, because I think that a lot of times it helps you avoid super negative and nasty situations. I think that's super cool. Definitely with some kind of moonstone coming out here. I know it's just peach moonstone, but I feel like this person is super intuitive, especially with the intuition coming out. It's just interesting because this intuition that you have is just like super in sync. For some of you, I feel like you've been intentionally trying to strengthen this about yourself, and maybe that's why it's so strong. For others of you, and maybe that's what this message is for. Let me finish the other message. Maybe that's what this message is for. Maybe it's to tell you that you have come a long way with that. For others of you, I think this is just an inherent part of you that you just don't see. I feel like you don't even totally realize. I almost feel like I get the vision of the Fool card in the sense that this guy doesn't even realize what he's walking into. Like, you don't know what you're walking into here, but it definitely works out for you, because you're just, I almost heard the word called, like you feel called to just follow this intuition that you have, and it leads you to the flow of everything. Like, you're just flowing through life. And again, that just makes you really strong. I feel like you are, and this makes you really strong in the sense that you're very positive. You're able to keep a positive mindset through the negative, because I feel like things have just always worked out for you. And And then that's kind of because why? Like, you're just positive. You're open to things working out. Some people are closed off to that idea. They don't believe it can happen, and therefore it doesn't happen. But you're open to it, and because you're open to it, you go with the flow, basically, is what I'm really getting here, which is super interesting. It's very interesting to me, is that there's an amount of emotional intelligence here too, that's kind of coming out of nowhere, but there's an amount of emotional intelligence with this heart and dolphin coming out to me. And I feel like that might have something to do with your intuition, to be honest. I feel like you do have to have a certain level of emotional intelligence to accurately follow your intuition, because someone like you basically can differentiate the difference between anxiety and guidance or your own intuition, or guidance from your own intuition. And I think that's, first of all, super cool, and second of all, like, pretty much, it's like how to use that tool is what I heard. Like, that's how you use intuition, is by being emotionally intelligent and being able to decipher what feelings mean what. So let's get into your tarot cards. We have the Five of Pentacles coming out, and I have a feeling that this is about the fact that this is an interesting one, because it almost, to me, comes off as like, even though you might not have it all, you do have it all, kind of thing. Like, you might not physically have riches, but you spiritually have riches, is sort of what I get from that. Because I feel like this represents like a physical lacking. And it's not even like lacking from you, though. Like, you don't really see it as lacking. I know that's not exactly what this is portraying, but I almost notice immediately these two, and it's almost like they have each other. And that's what really matters. It sounds kind of cheesy, but that's what really matters here, that they're surviving together. And I feel like that's you. I feel like that's how you would view a situation like that. Like, you would see the positive in it. Like, yeah, we might not have any money right now, but we have each other. And I feel like that's part of going with the flow. You're accepting the situation and just, moving forward, essentially. So let's see your next oracle card. We have the Six of Cups. I just heard turning the tragic into magic. I don't know where that came from, but that's what I heard. So I feel like that's what this is. That's exactly what I said, though, right? It's like, instead of focusing on the material, physical, you're focusing on the spiritual, the what really matters, is what I heard. So a very interesting energy you have here, in the sense that it's very alchemy-like, in my opinion. You sort of have the ability to take a situation, and instead of, being stopped by a negative situation, it almost feels like you're propelled forward, but in like a new direction. And that is flowing with the universe. The universe is all about new directions. So I feel like this is just a person that's super in sync with the universe, and I don't think you even realize it. And, honestly, I feel like some of you are going to even be like, I don't know what you mean. But I think that it's just, that's what it is. You just go with the flow, though. Like, you're just somebody that's sailing through life, is what I just heard. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's pull some charms. I don't know why I said it like that. So I got the Tree of Life coming out. I thought that was really interesting that only one came out today, because I usually pull a few. So what do I take from that? It's like these branches are the flow. That's going to sound really weird and maybe a little bit trippy, but these branches are like the flow. You're like, you go, like, it's almost like, I don't know how to describe the imagery that I am seeing right now, but it's almost like, if a new branch starts growing, you don't question it, kind of thing. Like, you let it be. You're very accepting. This is a very spiritual group, definitely, whether you realize it or not. You just might be naturally with it. All right, so that's all I'm really getting for this group. Thank you for watching this reading. I hope you found it helpful. If you wish to support my channel, please subscribe. And once again, thank you. All right, hello, group number 3. This is your tarot reading for what you don't see about yourself. You chose the tumbled Amazonite. All right, let's get into your oracle cards first and then your tarot. All right, so you guys got a bunch of cards. All right, so your first oracle card is number 2 with patience. Your next oracle card is 44, environment. Ooh, interesting. Your next oracle card is freedom. I no longer want this fiery thing of resentment to block the good. Release me from its bonds. All right, and your next oracle card is tranquility with violets and the number 43, as well as the zodiac sign Pisces. All right, and last we have Amazonites. Oh my God, wow. I did not mean to do that. That was all, I always get excited when this happens. Sorry. Okay, Amazonite, loosen your grip. Okay, so this is super interesting because I feel like for some of you, you may have been attracted to another pile. And I don't really want to say which pile, but what I will say is if that does, if you do relate to that, if you do relate to being attracted to another pile, please pick that pile. Anyway, so this group is very interesting, very similar to one of the other piles that I did. Basically, you're very spiritual, whether you realize it or not. You are a very at peace person. You're a very free person. I feel like this person has a very loose grip. You're not very attached. And that's why I say you're very spiritual. You're not very attached to the physical realm. Okay. For some of you, you might be very clairvoyant in this group, to be honest. I don't know why that came through, but it did. I think it's this violet, like the actual violet came out. But anyway, you have the ability to be free. You're not attached to this physical realm as much as you may feel, even because apparently you don't know this about yourself. But maybe you don't even realize that you're a very spiritual person. Maybe you don't even consider yourself a very spiritual person, but you are, in the sense that you're not attached to the material like a lot of people are. You don't become, I feel like you're a person that's less fascinated by getting the next new thing, and you're more fascinated about learning the next big thing, if that makes sense. You're somebody that's a lot more mental and spiritual than physical. I find it interesting that patience and environment came out in that order. It makes me feel like it's saying you have patience for the environment, which is extremely spiritual and actually very Buddhist in particular, in my opinion, in the sense that you're not trying to force enlightenment on people, especially if you don't even consider yourself enlightened. But basically, you're not trying to force people to get the answers. You're just trying to find the answers, and you're at peace with the fact that nobody really has the answer. That's sort of what I'm getting here. And there's just a level of freedom with that, to be honest. You have let go of something very big here. Yeah, I feel like this group doesn't really expect answers from people, basically. I feel like you search on your own. Again, whether you consider yourself spiritual or not, whether you're doing this in a spiritual context or not, I find that personally to be very at one with things, essentially. I feel like that's a pretty good way to live, basically. Sorry, I got a bit excited here because I really like this energy, especially the colors. I love green and orange together, especially like that shade. Oh, it's so pretty. But yeah, this group seems to have a pretty good grip on being free. Now, for some of you, this might manifest in a way where you're very at peace, and I feel like you just sort of walk through life and you just sort of accept what's there in the environment. See, that's what I'm trying to say by patience with the environment. You sort of just accept where the environment is at. If you're expecting to go on a hike and it starts raining, you say, all right, and you just go on your hike. You just sort of accept that it's raining. Or if for whatever reason you don't want to be outside in the rain, you just accept that it's raining. You don't get upset. You just wait until it's done raining and go take a hike, kind of thing. You accept it. I'm sorry I keep repeating that, but it seems very important here. I don't think you fully realize just how much of an accepting person you are. How if you are asked to loosen your grip because you need to loosen your grip, you do. All right, let's get to your first tarot card. We have the Ace of Wands. That's interesting because it's like gripping something. I feel like you're somebody who does let go. It's sort of what I get from that for some reason. I don't really have much else to say about that. I almost want to see more of the cards. Your next card is the Ten of Swords. And your last card is the Artist. Okay, I totally see what this is saying. This is actually amazing. So you're a very free person in the sense that if there is a Ten of Swords moment, if there is like an everything is lost moment, you're somebody who gets inspired by this. That's what that's saying. You're somebody who accepts that this has happened, yet becomes inspired by this. This is an interesting message. It actually reminds me of a story that my partner told me once about how something like terrible happened at his job at the time. I think he might have been fired or something. And basically, he was so angry. He came home so angry, and instead of like actually, acting on that anger, I mean, he technically did, but not in a way that you would expect. He used that energy, that anger, to just create this ashtray, and it's like a really cool ashtray. And it's just interesting to me because that's what this makes me think of. It's like this situation, you're taking inspiration from this situation, and you're putting it out there. You're again, you're turning this tragic into magic. You don't just accept it in a way that's like all is lost. You accept it in a way where it's like, well, maybe not all is lost. Maybe I can do something with this energy. Maybe I can make something out of this. Very, very, if life gives you lemons, make lemonades is what I'm getting from this group. I feel like this is a very positive group. You're very optimistic is the word that comes to mind, in ways that are really great. And I feel like some of you don't even realize that. I feel like you don't even realize how optimistic you actually are. Maybe not even just optimistic, but just like at peace, like tranquil with it all. All right, so I'm gonna pull some charms now. This crown. Oh yeah, there was definitely a message for you in another pile for a lot of you. Pretty much the same thing. All right, so you got 3 charms here that to me indicate some kind of colossal growth and transformation. Honestly, I feel like this is about you transforming negative situations or things into positive situations or things. I feel like you just, when I put this charm down, I saw like a rose growing out of this guy's body. Like, I feel like that's what you do. You just, again, the phrase that came to mind here is turning the tragic into magic. So, like, that's what you do, whether you realize it or not. And that's all I'm really getting here. So thank you for watching this reading. I hope you found it helpful. If you wish to support this channel, please subscribe. And once again, thank you. All right, guys. So I'm not gonna lie, I actually ate some edibles before doing this, and that was the first time I ever did that, and probably the last, if I'm honest. But yeah, I hope you guys all found this helpful. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe if you want to support it. Yeah, I'm gonna probably go for a hike now, but I hope you all have a very wonderful week.